when women fall in love, which is why submission is actually dangerous for them, and they truly submit, they're willing to do any and everything you ask of them. That's why you will see niggas who have women put cars in their names, who take out loan payments for them to go to school, who do all type of stuff that'll put them in a real fucked up situation. But they trusted in the man so much they was willing to go above and beyond and do any and everything he asked. That matter of fact, another example, one of my employees at one point, her man had a felony drug case. They got pulled over, and he had crack in the car and told her to take the charge because he was on papers and that would just violate his parole. She, believing that was being submissive to him, did exactly what he said and ended up with her being in a whole lot of trouble. You see what I'm saying? Just following blindly can end in them type of situations.
But where I'm losing, I'm understand what you're saying, but where I'm losing you is that when a woman submits to a man, that it's not predicated off of whether there's a positive or negative outcome. It's just whether she just listens to him, follows him, and bends to his leadership and direction. Now, whether the outcome is him benefiting and she not benefiting, that's another story. But submission is getting in the door. Like, what do I do to get this woman to lean in my way or take my side, take my position on life, on how to live and how to operate?
So
now whether or not she's being manipulated, that's a whole nother story.
So you shouldn't have to do anything specifically for that result, and just being no, I'm saying, listen, just being a man that's earned the trust, but by being yourself, earn the trust of the woman, she's gonna naturally submit. So it's not even a question. Like the question shouldn't be how do we get women to submit? It's how does your character reflect in a way that makes people want to submit to you?
Well, but I get what you're saying, but I'm saying whenever a woman chooses to submit to a man, whether he's evil or he's got bad intentions, it doesn't make it a weaponized. It just because she, at the end of the day, she still have the choice on whether she want to choose to submit to him,
what makes
or
it
not.
a weapon is if he's intentionally going for submissive women, knowing that he's going to get his way.
Like
you're saying he's going for submissive women. Like it's not a woman that's wearing submissive on her forehead for you to go for her.
No, you can see they look like pygmies on Facebook. It could be a man doing something clearly wrong that another man would agree with, and a woman is still gonna be like, nah, he a man, he get to do what he want to do. There's women like that. Or there's women that's very timid, very shy, don't really know how to vocalize themselves. They would specifically go for women like that who just naturally submits, willingly submits, or just a submissive person in general, and use that to get what he wants because he know that she trusts men, or she's supposed to, or she knows, her role as a woman. So he'll come in, pretend to be things that he's not, knowing she lacks experience, but she's still submissive, and use that. That's what happened to me. He seen that I had certain qualities. He knew I didn't know how to choose correctly, and he weaponized that. Like they target certain men, and I know you probably won't get because you're not that guy, but there are certain men that targets women like that. My dad is the perfect example. He would target teachers. He would target women that he know he don't want to marry. He would take their credit. Even one time he came over because I tried to like make it work with my dad. One of my friends came over and she was like, "Oh, your dad, fan. I want to talk to him." I was like, "Girl, you don't want to do that because he'll take your credit, everything." And as soon as I told my dad what she said, he said, "Oh, okay, yeah, tell her come over because I need a car. I need this, I need that." He knows the power that he holds as a man. He know what responsibility that women are looking at him for, and he would purposely choose those women and prey on them.
Sound like you wanted to say something, Trav. I was gonna wait for you.
I'm trying to remember what the hell I was even going to say, but it was pertaining to the dialogue you and Marcus was having, because I know you were having a tough time grasping that situation where as far as them submitting and everything. So any dude could pretty much get a woman to submit. He just has to run into a matchup that'll submit to him. Right. So, and I think that nearly every female is capable of submitting. She just has to value that man enough to submit to him. Right. Even the most crass, tough individual or whatever you think that's completely disagreeable, if she found her celebrity crush or whatever the hell it is that she really appreciates the values in life, she gonna submit to homeboy. That's just what it's like, right? And there are some females who are more likely to submit to more men, and then there's some that it'll take a particular type of man, maybe a special set of skills. Who knows? But it's up to you as a man to be able to recognize that. It can be to the extreme, like I was explaining, where it can even become predatorial, where there are dudes, I know cats who do that. I mean, some people just don't even think of it as far as your aspect of it. You see it as somebody who is detrimental to your well-being, right? They see this game, right? Oh, I'm a high home girl doing this and that. So it's a completely different perspective that they're seeing it from. A lot of dudes, it's like they every day, that's their ones and twos. So it's not really a situation where they feel like they're really inflicting the type of pain that you are receiving, right? They don't understand that part of it. So even intention doesn't matter. They should care. They know that they're doing wrong, but they don't understand the magnitude of it or care to even understand the magnitude of it because they're numb to it. After a while, when you get into that mode, and a lot of it could be from dudes that are hurt, right? Because once people understand or think they understand the way that the game is going, then they try to adapt to it. A lot of dudes who were young, and this is something that I've experienced to an extent, where me going into situations in good faith would get done dirty, and until I'm like, damn, okay, I guess this ain't really the way to operate. So after my teenage years as a young adult, I decided to kind of flip the script, and it worked out really well for me until, I had to further mature and be like, damn, this ain't really it either. So there are guys that never leave that phase. Never. Once they get into that mode, that's just how they operate. And a lot of times it might be like what we were talking about before, trauma response. And you can't help that because that's how you grew up. And now you thinking this is the way to adapt. And you're not ever trying to have that feeling again. You don't want to go back to that place where you was hurt, taken advantage of, manipulated. So now you're like, well, fuck it. I'm about to jump on this side. I'm going to make sure that nobody ain't playing me again. If I play you first, you couldn't possibly play me. And if they cut their emotions off, which is easier to do than you think, then they're like as impervious to anything that you could try to do to them.
Yeah, I agree, Trey. Yeah. Darn, you understand what I'm saying?
I just had a different understanding of the outcomes. That's all. So like if my outcomes is to get a woman to do what I want for whatever I want to do, and she do it, she's submitting. I mean, it can be good or bad. Doesn't make it a weapon. Unless I'm using her as a tool to cause destruction against someone or something.
But
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, no,
I
that's
thought
like I said,
The
weaponizing.
community, that's who ends up being